So let's put on the closed captions. I'll read a little bit of it, and then we can play the part that I want to play, where he's reenacting how he first discovered his gift. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to read it. This is his video. In this book, I reveal truths about chronic illnesses you won't learn anywhere else. You won't hear it from your doctor, read it in any other books, or find it on the internet. These are secrets that have not yet surfaced about how to finally heal, and I'm bringing them to light to you for the very first time. When I was 4 years old, I heard a voice. I am the spirit of the Most High. This is Anthony William as a little boy. This is the actor playing him. The spirit of the Most High. There is none above me but God himself. That night at the dinner table, the spirit came to make, this is like a fully produced video about, I don't know. And I'm playing it on mute because there's music underneath, and I would like some money for this video. Sorry. I would like the $12 that this video will retain. That night at the dinner table, the spirit came. Okay, now this is his grandmother who's choking or coughing. That night at the dinner table, the spirit came to make, Kelsey, welcome, to make his mouth never moved, but I could hear his voice speak to me. I am here for you. I am not a doctor. Okay, so now here's his disclosure. Now here's the part where I'm like, it really is on the user for responsibility. Now, it's not fair. Welcome, Kim. That's not fair to say from me, because the people who are so desperate have probably severe symptoms caused by an ununderstood illness. Probably from an understood illness, they have symptoms that have come from trying to treat that illness. Many places, when you're desperate for information, you're desperate to try anything. Oh, sorry, I miss who just joined. Thank you, welcome. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you want to try anything to solve the problems. And I get that. But at the same time, I even changed the name of the originally from scammer to grifter, because a scam is when if he was to say to me, in my interpretation, is if he was to say, I'm a medical doctor, and then gave all this information and it was bullshit. He's a grifter because he's being honest about where he's getting his information. It's from nowhere. It's from his own brain that he's making up to suit his marketing plan, in my opinion, because I don't believe in spirits talking to you and giving you, celery cluster information, or telling you specifically use this juicer from Amazon that is expensive. If you're someone who's taking this advice and knowing that he's not a medical professional, it is on you in a lot of ways, as hard as that is to hear. And I feel badly because I understand where people are coming from and going, I don't care if it's from, like a tarot card, I'm going to try. I get that. But I think that's where it changes from grifting, scamming and grifting. It's like, are you lying? He's not lying that he's getting it from nowhere. I could say like, Source Energy told me that everyone should eat only wheat, no dairy. And then people could listen to that and go, well, she told me, and it came from Source Energy. It's like, who's really to blame? Well, I told you I got it from like airy fairy nowhere. I don't know. Anyways, that's just to say he's telling the truth that he's not a medical professional. I am here for you. I'm not a doctor. I have no medical training, but I can tell you things about your health that no one else can. Yeah, I guess, because you're nobody who knows nothing. So I guess you could tell me stuff about my health. That's not true. I can give you clarity on diseases that doctors often misdiagnose or treat incorrectly, or they just give up on and label it mystery illness. Okay, this is the part we gotta watch. Okay, now little Anthony's gonna get up, talk to his grandma.
Say lung cancer.
Lung cancer.
I didn't even know what those words meant.
Say it again. Say lung.
Lung.
Now say cancer.
Cancer.
Now say grandma has lung cancer.
Grandma has lung cancer.
Say lung. lung. Say cancer, cancer. Now say grandma has lung cancer. I don't know. I just thought that was so funny. Okay. Then mom is horrified, even though we have no idea who his mom is and cannot ask her or have any interviews of mother confirming nor denying if this actually ever happened. So I guess it'll be a mystery. When my husband canceled, my grandmother visited her doctor and the chest x-ray revealed she had lung cancer for over 20 years. Okay, so basically he says he put his hand on his grandma and said, lung cancer, grandma has lung cancer. And allegedly she went to the doctor and found out she did have lung cancer. Now, again, no proof. Where's grandma? Where's mom? Where's his siblings? They don't exist. Apparently, they're not there. They don't get to say, that, yes, my son, and I'm sure, if they were a part of the grift, if they were part of the money-making scheme that this is, in my opinion, I'm sure they could say, yeah, he did that. And it would still, to me, provide no evidence that anything happened, or any phenomena at all. But the fact that they're not even there to agree with it is even more kind of surprising. Anyways, I've helped tens of thousands. Okay, for over 20 years, I've helped tens of thousands of people recover and heal from illnesses such as rheumatoid arthritis. Now, just take a look at the listing of things he chooses. I don't think it's accidental. The things he chooses to point out, things that are hard to, prove are there necessarily, or things that are more mysterious in nature. He talks about Lyme disease a lot. He talks about the Epstein-Barr a lot, fibromyalgia, things that are not as concrete as we see a tumor, we pulled the biopsy, it looks like this, it has this property where you can, have a lot of information. These are the ones that are more mysterious. Anyways. Rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome. Okay. Also just things that are, again, the more vague disorders that exist today, Lyme disease, and so much more. It's time for you to learn these secrets and gain control over your life. It's the way it's meant to be. It's the way Spirit wanted it to be. There's the book. So exciting. While we're here, I'm in the book talking about the voice. So he's talking about the voice, and this goes into a little bit more detail about his visitor, right? Okay. As the mysterious visitor continues to greet me every morning, I start to pay attention what he sounds like. His crystal clear voice is somewhere between baritone and tenor. A bit on the low side, but not very low. It has depth and resonance. Even though he's near my right ear, his speech has the stereo effect of surround sound. Okay, this is very important. The visitor is loudest in the morning. It's hard to gauge his age. Sometimes he sounds like an exceptionally strong, healthy 80-year-old, matching the gray man I saw at dinner. At other times, he sounds thousands of years old. Okay, how does a 1,000-year-old person sound? Because I don't think we have anything to be able to have that frame of reference. You might say he has a soothing voice, yet constantly hearing a voice is hard to get used to. The voice isn't internal. It is not thoughts I'm thinking. It is not my own inner voice. I can separate my own thoughts from the voice I hear. It's a voice that comes from an outside source directly above my right ear, as if someone were standing next to it. I can't will it to go away. I can physically block it. When I put my hand in front of my ear, I can make the voice sound very faint. As soon as I move my hand away, he's at full volume again. I ask him to stop talking to me. At first, I'm polite about it. Then I'm not. It doesn't matter what I say, though. He talks whenever he wants to. I start calling the voice by name, Spirit of the Most High. Sometimes I call him Spirit for short, or Most High. God. By age 8, I hear Spirit continually throughout the day. He tells me about the physical health of anyone I encounter. No matter where I am or what I'm doing, I'm told about the aches, pains, and illnesses of whoever's nearby, and also what the person needs to do to become better. Doesn't that sound like diagnosing to me? That is practicing medicine without a license, in my opinion. The relentless of relentlessness of this ongoing and intimate information is extremely stressful. I ask Spirit to stop telling me these things. I don't want to know. He says, okay, quote, we're not here on this earth very long, end quote, Spirit says. We can't waste any time. He tells me that he's trying to teach me as much as possible in the short time we have together, and we can't spare a moment. Hearing this devastates me. Somehow I believe that life is so long that it feels like we live forever. I feel my childhood slipping away with the grim reality of this truth Spirit has just shared. When I tell Spirit this job is too demanding, he ignores me. So this is not a selfish endeavor. This is not a scam. This is not one of those things where he's trying to make money. This took away his childhood. This is taking away his comfort, his support, everything. It's horrible to have this gift to be able to heal millions of people worldwide and make millions of dollars while doing it. It's just so horrible. So the Spirit's like, we want you, random man from unknown city at unknown time, to be the healer of the entire world, right? Okay, so this is how high up this spiritual voice is, right? Okay, so he's asking, he says, where are you? This is medical meeting. Goes, who are you? What are you? Where did you come from? And why are you here? Spirit replies, first, I will tell you what I am not. I am not an angel. And I am not a person. I was never a human being. I am not a ghost or a spirit guide either. I am a word. All right. I blink fast, trying to take this all in. All I can think to ask is, which word? Spirit replies, compassion. I'm not sure how to respond, but I don't need to. Spirit keeps talking. I am literally the living essence of the word compassion. I sit at the fingertip of God. Spirit, I don't understand. Are you God? No, the voice replies. At the fingertip of God sits a word, and that word is compassion. I am that word, a living word, the closest word to God. I shake my head. How can you be just a word? This sounds like a manifesto. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't hate to say it, but it's, okay. Okay, I shake my head. How can you be just a word? A word is an energy source. Certain words hold great power. God pours light into words such as I and instills us with a breath of life. I am more than a word. Is there anyone else like you, I ask? Yes, faith, hope, joy, peace, and more. They are all living words, but I sit above all them because I am the closest to God, of course. And of course, the closest to God would pick Anthony to talk to. Do these words speak to people too? Not as I do to you. These words are not heard by the ear. They live in each person's heart and soul, as do I. Words such as joy and peace do not stand alone in the heart. They require compassion to be complete. Okay, blah, 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 blah. He talks about why it's better than peace and it's better than joy and da-da-da. Okay. I am compassion and no other sits above me but God. Trying to make sense of this, I ask, then what is God? God is a word. So he's also going to tell us what the meaning of life is, who God is. Of course, God is a word. God is love, which is above all other words. God is also more than a word because God loves all. God is the most powerful source of existence. People can love, but people do not love all others unconditionally. God does. It's too much for me to process. I end the conversation with one personal question. Do you talk to anyone else? Because if you do, I'm thinking I'm going to seek them out so I don't have to feel so alone. Quote, the angels and other godly beings look to me for guidance. I provide all who care to listen with the lessons and wisdoms of God, says Spirit of the Most High, who I realize is Spirit of compassion. But on earth, I speak directly only to you. Okay, so once again, to recap that, the voice is not God, but it's one fingertip below, and that highest spirit who is somehow affiliated with God only talks to this man right here. Okay. How logical and realistic is that? Why would they make him look like that? I'm sorry to say. Like, why him? Give me any reason why him specifically. Okay. so he's talking about like, this is a lot to absorb. So he did the grandma diagnosis at 4, but then at 8, he's able to converse with the spirit. The one and only medical medium. While there are obvious disadvantages to having a voice continually talking to my ear, there are also some advantages. Because spirit of compassion is distinct and separate from me, it doesn't matter if on a given day I'm feeling upset or ill or bored. Spirit is unaffected by my emotions and will consistently provide powerful advanced information ahead of medical research and science about chronic illness and how to heal. It's the same process as when I was a child. Regardless of what my life struggles are, even if I'm in no condition in the moment to process what spirit of compassion is telling me. For example, if I've only had 2 hours of sleep because of certain challenges occurring in my life, okay, the information will still come through. Focusing and concentrating on the intricate specificities take work. I don't have to use my intuitive skills. I don't channel the information either. Other mediums sometimes hear inner voices, but mine isn't. So he's is he the only medium? He is. Mine isn't internal. People seeking help ask me, should I take off my jewelry to allow you to get a better read? It doesn't matter if they're wrapped in tin foil. The information is still going to come through, and they're going to get the answers they need to move forward. I often asked if spirit of compassion can help me with my family, loved ones, and even myself to get physical and spiritual information. The answer is yes, again, because spirit is separate from me. All I have to do is ask, and he tells and shows me what is best to know. This is one of those things that makes this gift unique. Okay. One day, a skeptical reporter from an unnamed source, demands I give her an answer on the spot. I want you to tell me where it hurts. Does it hurt in my toe, my leg, my stomach? Does it hurt in my arm, my butt? Do I even hurt at all? Let's see what your voice says. Spirit of compassion immediately tells me she does hurt. She hurts on the left side of her head. Chronic migraines torment her. I reach over, touch the left side of her head and say, Spirit tells me you hurt here. She starts crying. And then everybody clapped. That's the level of instant accuracy spirit provides. If I get a call at 2 a.m. from a mom whose daughter is about to go into emergency surgery and the mom wants to know if it's the right choice, I have to be able to help the doctor determine in that moment if that little girl merely has a bad case of food poisoning or if her appendix is about to explode. Yeah. So if you're taking your daughter to the emergency room because you don't know if it's just a bad case of food poisoning or an appendix exploding, definitely delay the drive there. Call this, psychopath and ask him, and then put the doctor on the phone and he'll tell you, because they definitely don't have the tools to be able to determine that at the hospital for sure. It's important to see whether someone's recovering or is bleeding internally. If a child's fever is due to the flu or meningitis, if someone is suffering from heat sickness or is about to have a stroke, Spirit of Compassion delivers this information every time so it can be conveyed to their doctor. That's a bold ass statement. How is this legal? How is this legal? How is this legal? I don't know. I wonder myself every day. I started spending a lot of time in the woods. I find nature soothing and especially appreciate the absence of other people. With the help of spirit, I learned to identify different species of birds during the day. At night, he teaches me the names of stars, both what scientists call them and the names God has given them. Why spend the time? Why would the spirit know what scientists call the different stars? But okay. It's not fully an escape though, because spirit also teaches me how to recognize herbs and foods growing around me. Mullein, yellow dock, plantain, dandelion, burdock root, wild rose hips and petals, wild apples, wild berries, and how to use them for healing. I also develop an interest in repairing cars. I swear to God, this is what it says. I also develop an interest in repairing cars. I like fixing up mechanical objects because they don't require me to become emotionally involved. Even if I fail to repair a junker Chevy with a bad engine, I never feel remotely as awful as I do when I can't help people because they're in too advanced a stage of disease to be healed. Okay, that's the only reason why it's too advanced. So your celery is no longer relevant. Wouldn't it be? Isn't it a miracle cure for everything? Okay, but this hobby doesn't go as planned either. People start noticing what I'm doing and coming over. Wow, that's amazing. Can you fix my car? I don't have it in me to say no, especially since Spirit is doing the hardest part, which is figuring out what is wrong. One day, when I'm 15, my mother and I, who will not be named, my mother and I stop at a station to get gasoline. I walk into the garage and find a bunch of mechanics staring at a car as if they're trying to solve a puzzle. You guys. The fact that so many people are going to die on this hill, that this guy is a legitimate person, including Sylvester Stallone, Robert De Niro, and like a list of other people. This guy who's this is 10 pages in, and this is what this guy is saying. I've lost all faith. It's just too funny, though. It's so funny. Okay. People start notice. Okay. One day when I'm 15, my mother and I stop at a station to get gasoline. I walk into the garage and find a bunch of mechanics staring at a car as if they're trying to solve a puzzle. What's going on? I ask. One of the men says, we've worked on this car for weeks. It should run perfectly, but we can't get it to start. Spirit immediately tells me the solution. Open up the wire harness in the back of the firewall. I pass along to the mechanics. Quote, buried in dozens of other wires, you'll find a white one that's broken. Put that wire together and the car will run fine. That's ridiculous, says another of the men. What's the harm in checking? Asks the first one. So they go in and sure enough, there's a white wire broken in half. They look at me with their jaws hanging open. Are you the owner of this car? Asks the skeptical mechanic. Or are you a friend of his? No, I reply, I just have a knack for these things. In a minute, they fix the wire and try the car again. It starts up perfectly. One of the mechanics starts dancing around. Another calls it a miracle. Word gets around, and soon a bunch of garages in my town, which will not be named, and also several neighboring towns use me as the go-to guy for troubleshooting seemingly unfixable vehicles. When I show up to assist on a job, the mechanics who call me, much older guys with years of experience, are always incredulous. What's this 15-year-old doing here, they all ask. When I get the job done, though, they change their minds. So instead of escaping responsibility, I gain more. On top of healing people, I become a car doctor. The last straw is when I realize how emotional people are about their cars. A lot of times, they're even more invested in their car's well-being than their own health. At that point, cars stop being fun for me. And then he says, I tried some other distracting activities. For example, I join a rock band that will also not be named. Because loud music helps drown out Spirit's voice. Spirit does not appreciate this. He patiently waits until I'm finished making a racket, then resumes his commentary on the health of those around me. Nothing really works to make my gift go away. It becomes increasingly clear that I'm stuck with Spirit and my ability and can't escape the path that's been laid out for me. So don't blame him for this, okay? It is a gift and mostly a curse that is very profitable.